One of the coolest things about Final Upgrade is that you can design your own stations and spaceships inside of the game to build up your factories, and that's what I've done right here. After being inspired by some things I saw on Discord, I decided to try to build my own factory here. Now the main idea of this factory is that it's one unit in order to replace many units. Now the reason this is important and powerful is the fact that when we get into the larger view, our map here, is that we can only have one station per spot that we own. And we can also have so many ships in one single spot at a single time. So for example, over here, I have a power station, but that's all that can be here. Now this is a default design right here. However, there's loads of empty space right over here where other things can happen. And since I'm working on metal refining, when I go over to some place like Venus here, you can see that all I'm doing here is processing nickel ore into refined nickel. However, when we go back and we look at the filtering menu here, you can see that we follow a fairly straightforward path. We have nickel ore, nickel, and then the ingots. And this happens for all of our different resources here. So you can see here's all of our irons, all the way up to uranium. And then you have the refined levels of that. And then you have kind of a processed level of that, which is the ingot form. After that, it gets combined into other things as well. So with this in mind, I decided to go ahead and design my own station. So if I go in here, click on stations, go into custom, here's my little blueprint. Now you can see here that this design already has all of the different materials pre-selected with their statuses already set to disabled, sell, or buy if I kind of want them to do certain things. And you can see here that I'm going to deliver all of my raw resources up top and then be able to sell off all of these to different ships and then traders and whatnot down below. Now this definitely did take me a little while to build because it was my first time. However, let me show you just some of the tricks here so that if you're in the game and you want to try building one of these yourself, you'll know some of the basics. So if I go over here to new, click on station, we'll just give it a random name. All right, so let's just run through this. All I'm going to do is click down here next to the machine and then hold shift and drag this out for an area. Now I want to go ahead and plan out the areas inside of my factory. So I'm just going to press the K key, that'll bring up this, add a new resource, and then drag out some iron right there. And you can see just how large that is. We have 39 possible spots where we can put something. We can go ahead and click the resize button and make it a little bit bigger. There you have it, up to 65. Now in my factory, each zone is set up to 60. Now right down here, you're going to use the little tubes, and as we drag these tubes out, you can kind of see that they have different arrows on them. If you right click on this, you can see that this material can be brought in here, and then I don't want it to go down below, or it could be shipped off to the right. And it seems like you can also filter this if you really wanted to. I'm not really doing anything all that complex. So one of the tricks I do here, just to kind of make this go fast, is I'm going to use the extractor, which is what we use to extract material out of refined stuff. And then once it's placed down here, if we start to drag this, you can see that it automatically gets rid of the down arrow. And then if I click on this and drag down, it adds a down arrow to it. So then if I put down a couple more extractors, just like this, I can go ahead and take this, just drag it out here to the right, and then bring the arrow down like that. If I need to add something, then there we go, get rid of that, bingo, bingo, boom. Take this, drag it down, boom, nice. Now the same sort of thing happens on the way out. So if we click on the machine and then drag down, you see we get an arrow down, and then I'm just clicking and holding all the way over here to the left, and now it's wanting to push that material out. And then if I go up here and drag down, there's an arrow that's automatically added to it. So now the material can come out of here, go over here, and then fall back down. And once again, I hit K, add a resource. In this case, it would just be iron. And I would have iron in this area, which would actually be that big. So if we go back up here and we resize this, there we go. I want that to be 60. So those are two zones right there. Then the same thing is just repeated with a stamper down below, and so on and so forth. If you want to sell out of this, all you do is right click on it, say sell. And then right up here, if we want to have ships automatically deliver to it, make sure K is up, and then hit buy right there. There you go. Then we're just going to finish up by circling all of this right here. So this is kind of the basic concept of what I got going on. I've just expanded on it. Finally, though, you do need some batteries. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in over here, because obviously the equipment needs to run. And I'll do this number right here. And then I'll put in a tier 1 battery. The reason I'm putting in tier 1 batteries is because they just cost iron. If you go to a tier 2 battery, you can see that that's now going to cost some gold. So if you don't have gold, available, then you really can't use the tier 2 batteries unless you buy it from Earth. So I'll just stick with tier 1s and then roll with that. Finally, you need the robots to be able to get in and out of here, so add some cool looking hatches and you're good to go. So now I'm going to click save on that. In case you're wondering, these are saved as blueprint files. So if you go into your computer and just kind of type that in right there, user profile, here you have it. Here's all of your blueprints, and we should see the latest one that I just put inside of here. Yes, station 439 right there. Get a little thumbnail preview, and we also got this unit right there, which can be uploaded and shared with others or imported into here if you want to use somebody else's design. Pretty cool. So now for the real big question, is this an efficient design? Now conceptually, what I'm looking to do here is if I go to a place like Mars, you can see that Mars has a high iron content right here. It also has a high copper content, but right now I only have one station, which is just iron. So I don't want that. Now I'm not 100% sure if this is an efficient way to go, but here we go. We're gonna try it. Self-destruct. Are you sure? Yes. Actually, no, here, let me hit save. Manage. Self-destruct. Oh no, it's been destroyed. There goes my first space station. There we have it. We've now created some massive interstellar trash. Fantastic. I'm glad we're off to a good start here. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and build my station here. I'm going to go ahead and give it a name. So multi-iron, copper, gold, which are the three that I'm actually going to do here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pay Earth for this. And then I'll go ahead and also use my own ships to try to help build it very quickly. So here we go. We're building it up. And you can see right off the bat, it's already starting to process. Look at that. So one of the things that I've noticed here that's really quite important is that you can actually store a resource inside of the conveyor. So while it's 60 up here, there's an extra line right down here and here of resources that are waiting to be processed. Now you may have noticed that I only called this copper, iron, and gold, and that's based on kind of what I have in my map. If I bring absolutely everything to the same spot here, it may not be all that efficient. So what I can do is I can right click on this, click on that, and say, nope, I'm gonna process more copper here. Actually, what I'm thinking about doing is, since I have a zone that is 3 here, I'm just going to do 3 zones of iron. So just like that. And then in this location, rather than doing carbon, I'm going to switch this one to copper. And then finally, all the way over here on the right, I have gold. So the reason that I'm actually doing gold here is because I don't have a resource that is above 1 star for gold at the moment. But the thing is, with this one station, what I've done is, not only am I doing this process right here, where I'm refining into iron, I'm also doing what would normally be done in another location where we take iron and go all the way to ingots. So this right here is eliminating the need for taking up one more spot all the way out here. And then beyond that, we're also doing copper and gold here, which can be mined up right from this location. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm just going to go over here to iron, say we have a deposit of iron. We're just going to go boom, just like that. That'll supply it. 180 large. Copper, again, only a small demand of 60, but there we have it. And then I'll click on gold ore, which can be pulled from this exact same planet once again to the same location. Now, am I going to run into any problems with that? Let's find out. Next up is supply. So if I have iron, then I can go ahead and deliver iron over there. You can also see I have a supply of it over here. So here we go. Boom, just like that, we have all of these ships running on over here. We can see that they're trading. And you can also see that we're mining up Mars multiple times. You've got one ship right there and another one on gold. And watch, there's the iron coming up here just delivering like crazy, which is awesome. The one thing I haven't done though, is I haven't set this to be the correct thing. We actually have to go through and do that number, which does require a little bit more clicking so that this thing will also process. Same with this one. Hopefully they'll have a tool where you can just kind of copy over all of that stuff. I know you can copy it to everything, which is not what I want to do. And there you have it. Boom, look at that. All of this equipment is running. Processing so much ore. I love it. And it's all in one nice little location. That's beautiful. and possibly efficient. The one limitation that we have is, however many ships can get into this area. The miners need to deliver, and the shippers need to kind of collect and then ship away their stuff. All right, so finally, the last thing I need to do is go over here to iron ingots, and you can see that I have a large supply of this, so I just kind of want to take this and deliver it wherever I can. And the idea is that I don't need a lot of these locations because copper ingots, there we go. We've got a supply and we've got another demand over there. Pretty neat. Yeah, all right, sure, there we go. You can supply iron all over the place. Good luck. If we click the O button, we can get this sort of view right here, which is pretty awesome. So this is cool. Your own stations have supply and demand. So we've got some light missiles, we've got some circuits, we've got plastic plates, but you can see that we do need iron ore. And then if we take a look at this right here, and we go down to stations, and I look at my combo, so I have this one right here, multi-iron, copper, and gold. You can see that the last 10 minutes, my profits was 8,000. Matter of fact, that is the highest of anything here. So let me take this up a notch. What I'm going to do is go over here to copper. We'll get rid of this because we don't need it. This is just an empty spot where nothing's going on. Goodbye. That is just terrifying. We also don't need iron here. Manage. Self-destruct. Goodbye. And then nickel. Again, we don't need this one. And then I'll go ahead and build this in its place, just like so. And you can see that iron and nickel are here. And we also have silicon, which is, it's different. All right, so over here at Venus, what I'm going to do, since I have iron, nickel, and silicon, what I'm going to do is process silicon down. So that'll be silicon ore, just like that. And then right down here, we're going to have glass. But I got to go into the build menu real quick here, and we need to delete this building and that building. And because I don't have any robots, now to do that, I need to take some robots and actually have them do this. There you go, deconstruct. You can do it. What if you local jump over there? Then can you do it? Come on, spaceship. What if I try to deconstruct a battery? Well, it can do that. There. Who knows why it wouldn't. Maybe it just doesn't know how to path this crazy thing. I wouldn't be surprised. There we go, I had to knock out a wall. Interesting. All right, so I ran into like a little pathing limit there. So, I mean, that shows that I should add another way to get in here. Now, the reason for all of this is that I need an extractor. So we're just going to go ahead and rebuild all that. Come on, little robots, you can do it. Silicon, 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 glass. Then I just need to rebuild the wall down here. Come on, little robots, you can do it. All right, so with all of that set up here, I should be able to have iron, nickel, silicon, refined silicon, and glass. So you can see here, I do have some other spots where I do have silicon, but they're only ever 1 star. There's some bigger ones over here that I have to buy. I'm getting there. We'll eventually buy. Not yet. Look at this. Yes! This is awesome. It takes a little while to set up, but I think it's going to be well worth it because I'm just using so many less stations overall. Oh, I noticed a problem. That needs to go this way. And there we have it, glass. Cool. Sweet. So this is awesome. I have iron and iron ingots covered. Then I got nickel and all of that. We also have some copper and gold, silicon and glass. Carbon is about the only thing I'm not really covering all that great. It looks like I have a sweet spot for that over here. And that's where my really expensive research station is. Oh, I'll miss you for the carbon. All right, so here we have another station set up, but this one just has 1 iron and 4 carbons. So if I take carbon ore from our 3-star deposit, bam, just like that. And then iron ore, just like this. Look at those little runs, not much to it. Boom, ooh, look at all of that. And then you get the little smashing machines going, and then it poops it out right over there. Beautiful. So if you're going to use a strategy like this, it seems like you might want to size your mining ship based on the inventory size, which in this case, I'm running in multiples of 60. So I might want to have ships that have hulls of 60, or let's say 120, something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's thinking about it a little bit too much, but hey, that's what this game's all about, right? if you take a look at here, we have 6 ships in this area that could possibly interact with this station. And there's about 7 things that can happen. Power, and then inventory, which is deliver, and then take. So it's quite unlikely that I'm going to run into a traffic jam here. But you can imagine if you do put just one in each spot here, that the ships might end up kind of bumping into each other a little bit, which means maybe you just build a few more of these. I don't know. We'll have to see how that all works out. But you can see by not parking all of my ships over here and actually moving them away, other vehicles can actually now come over here. And there we go. All right, one last thing to do here, and that is to use the carbon and deliver that wherever it needs to go. So we do have some demand nearby. Let's go ahead and sell that for some money. As far as the iron, I'm probably just going to keep this on hand for my own shipbuilding and stuff, because I already got 2 large spots where I'm shipping iron all over the place. Now, one of the things is I do have a demand for circuits. Let's go ahead and fill that up, which means I'm going to have a big demand for copper ingots all of a sudden. Look at this colossal ship. Boom. All right, so let me go ahead and harvest up all of my energy from my superpower unit, which, by the way, you guys have already made far more compact. I'll have to work on this because we can get even more power out of it. Yes. Anyhow, let's go ahead and take this. We're going to jump out here to a couple of different locations. I think everywhere I can go now is kind of expensive, but I've got plenty of money, so let's find a good spot here. Uranium ore. Ooh, hey, that might be worth it. Yeah, this is definitely a place to buy. Look at that. High oil, high silicon, and uranium. Ooh, I'll claim it for 100,000. Which means I'll probably have to design a new station in order to work with uranium and probably process a little bit of silicon here. So you know what that means. Build another station. Now, before I go and build another station here, let's just take a look and see how many stations I have now, because I reduced it quite a bit. So here's the thing. Here's the real beauty of what we did here. I started off with about 17 stations, and now I have 12. So just by designing my own station, I was able to cut down on the amount of sectors I need by 5, which is pretty awesome. Now, because I've learned some things about this, let me go ahead and edit my design here. This one obviously needs to go to the right because I'm tired of fixing that. And I have to add a couple of hatch spots over here so that the robots don't get confused. And I'll save that. And there you have it. You can now download this blueprint and play with it in your game if that's what you want to do. At any rate, that's all I got time for today. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little episode here of Final Upgrade. If this looks like the channel for you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. Stay awesome. Have a great day. I'll see you again next time. Peace. Brothgar.